स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैशाङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुषुरासुराणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Ishvara. Okay. Read verse number 23 onwards. Om Tat Sad Iti Nirdeshaha Brahmanastrividha Smrutaha Brahmanastena Vedascha Yajñasya Vihita Pura Tasmado Mityudarutya Yajñadana Tapakriyaha Pravartante Vidhanoktaha Satatam Brahmavadinam Tadityana Visandhaya Phalam Yajñatapakriyaha Dana Kriyasya Vividha Kriyante Moksha Kangshivihi Sadbhave Sadhubhave Che Sadityetat Prayujyate Prasaste Karmani Tatha Satsabda Partha Yujyate. Right. So, in case there is a person who doesn't know anything about scripture as you have been seeing it, injunctions, instructions, Vedas, Vedic principles, doesn't believe in God or believe in anything beyond a very, very average, ordinary person. But he lives life in a nice way. That is how the chapter started. Taking into account the whole secular universe, in a sense, secular in a sense, note that, please appreciate, these words have gained such notoriety. When you think secular means anti-religious, religious means anti-secular, it's not like that. When you understand the truth about yourself as to who you are, as you have been seeing, you can be the most secular, you can be the most religious. Both way it is fine. You are as much comfortable with the form of a God, that much comfortable with the formless aspect. As much you are comfortable with the formless, that much you are comfortable with the form. Also, you can be very well comfortable with the human values like amanitvam, madambhitvam, ahimsa, kshanti, arjavam, straightforwardness, forgivingness, compassion, non-violence. You can be very comfortable with it. And also, everything is acceptable for you. You can see very clearly the human weaknesses as well as the strength. So there is no unnecessary condemnation, nor are you ever cheated by the pretentious goodness of somebody. That is because you are aware of yourself. Now, there are many people in the world who are may not be aware of all these things, but they are doing all good actions, helping people, helping themselves, like we saw the 3 tapas. I hope you thought over it well, because that is the most important aspect of life. Kaya vak tapas, kaya tapas, sarira tapas, vak tapas, manah tapas. That insight into your mind, your speech and your action at the level of the body. And to have a beautiful mind, to have those beautiful values, and speaking anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyam hitam chayad, to speak something which doesn't invoke anxiety, which is honest, which is good for you, good for everybody. You don't have to be a religious person. That aspect must be understood. To be a good person, ethical person, nice person, you don't need to be somebody who believes or doesn't believe in God. It has nothing to do with it. Just like, is it necessary to say, we must believe in God not to fight? If you don't fight, don't argue, don't cheat each other, the life is so beautiful. Why should God come into that? By chance you don't believe in a God, that doesn't mean anything. Or somebody can believe in a God and in the name of God you fight. Will that fight be religious? Just see, this is why today it has become atrocious. Because religious, just because you are taking the name of a God, that doesn't make you a holy person. Just because you do not believe in a God, that doesn't make you an unholy person. Because what is most important is your living. But then, in order to live that way, of course you can have nice values, but ultimately, understand, ultimately you must see the source of that values. It is so nice to say, accept everything, play your roles well, don't be angry, be kind, but how? Only when you see yourself who you are, free from limitations, you are the happiness, you are the mortality, you are the love, you are the security, then what happens is, you don't have any sense of insecurity, no sense of fear, no sense of unhappiness. As long as you have a sense of unhappiness, insecurity, anxiety, fear of mortality, that long you may pretend to be nice for some time, but you can't be really nice. Are you getting that point? It becomes very, very difficult, because when you are unhappy, as an idea, you have to live an ideal of sharing everything with everybody. But you are unhappy. But you have to share an ideal of, you have an ideal of sharing everything with everybody. You may do it, but inside there will be a little tightness. Because, yeah, I will give, but because you are unhappy. But when you are happy with yourself, your sharing becomes just spontaneous. Now, same thing also. Suppose you are obsessed with something, let's say some food, something somewhere you are obsessed with. Why is it so? You know you should give it up. But you cannot. Why? My happiness depends there. So that is where people go through the conflict. When your happiness depends, are you getting that? When your happiness depends on an object, man or woman, thing, sound, taste or smell, anything for that matter, you understand I should not be doing, but still you do it because your happiness depends on that. But when you are happy with yourself, giving up anything becomes very easy. So, it is absolutely imperative, important that the person understands himself. Then, these values you can live very nicely. Okay, having thus told it, now he says, suppose there is a person who lives like that, but sometimes he loses sight of it. What will you do? How does the ordinary person should function? He says, Upanishad says beautiful, Om Tat Sat iti Nirdesha Trividha Brahmana Smruta. Brahmana Trividha Nirdesha. Brahman, the absolute, the reality, in 3 words they have pointed it out. Om Tat Sat. If you can remember this before you do any action, that action shall be a worship. Please understand how it is. It's a very good principle. If you can remember, Om Tat Sat, but not just the words to remember, that word should direct you to the, because the word, that language that uses nirdesha. Nirdesha means what? Pointer. One which shows you. So simple word is not enough, because a person can say, Om, that does not mean anything. Because he can chant the word Om, but he is, like that. Remember that joke? Huh? You were a chicken. Huh? Your father was a chicken, now you are a fish, right? Just by telling that word, the person doesn't get converted, the things doesn't get changed. Just by, you don't know the joke, Okay, I'll repeat it. See, there was a person who was living deep inside, there's a story, in deep inside European country. Then he was eating every day, he was a Sardar and he was eating everyday chicken, mutton, like that, barbecue. And then in that country, because a lot of Christian people are there, naturally, for them the rule is on Friday you should not eat any of this chicken and mutton and all this, you should have only fish. So then, but this man did all chicken and other things, so whole neighborhood was disturbed. So they went and told the father, if you can include him with us, somehow he can come to this belief system, then he will also give up the chicken and he will eat also fish on the Friday. So they came to Sardar and the father became very friendly. And of course he went there because he has to meet people. He said, now that you are here, there is nothing. Why don't you be a part of our strategy? I mean, a part of our tradition, religion. Become like that. He said, but how do I become like that? I am a Sardar. He said, no, I will baptize you. He said, what is baptism? He said, you come to the church on Sunday. So he came Sunday. So what he did, he took that water, baptism water, and said, you was a Sardar. Your father was a Sardar. You was a Sardar. Now you are Christian. So he put the thing. So the person was finished, over. And then from next Friday onwards, of course, no more chicken and mutton, only fish. After 1 or 2 months, again on a Friday, the fish smell is, the chicken smell is coming around the city, around the village. So all the villagers went and told the father, this fellow again has gone back. He again cooking the fish, chicken. And the father came back, true. Then the father also is disturbed. So he went there, he says, what are you doing? He said, why? You are not supposed to cook chicken. He said, I am not cooking chicken. He said, what do you mean? Not, this smell is coming chicken. He said, no, it's all fish. Then the father went and said, what are you talking? He said, no. Before I put the chicken there and I took some water, holy water in my hand. I told, you was a chicken, your father was a chicken, now you are a fish. Now by telling that chicken become a fish, will the chicken become fish? That is why conversion is, you understand, this is a really nice, very beautiful joke somebody told. Just because you say something from today onwards you're an Indian, today onwards, tonight you're an American, you change your citizenship, deep inside you remain the same fellow. Just like that. Just like marriage. From today onwards, a man and wife, for 2 years you stay there. The 3rd year you are looking at somebody. The intensity goes away. Look at it. The oath of office, you take an oath of office in the office, that you shall maintain the secrecy and you shall not tell it to anybody. After some time you misuse the whole thing. Why is it? Please think of everywhere. For 2 days you shall tell that, oh, I will not, look at that, I will not eat that, I will not see that. You tell it. For 2 days you do it. 3rd day, oh, yeah. Why? Because it is all only from the words. It doesn't go into a system. So simply by telling Om, your action is not going to worship. You must recognize, see, Om Tat Sat iti Nirdesha. It's a pointer. It should point out to you as to who you are, what this truth is. If you remember, then every action shall be worship. Every experience shall be meditation. Brahmana, Vedasa, Yajnasya, Vihita, Pura. All these people, they told that whether in the ancient time, all these, the Vedas, the wise people, they have talked about it. That any action when you do, remember yourself. You can remember, call it God, call it truth, call it Brahman, but remember yourself. That is why this self-awareness, understand, the self-awareness will not make you fanatic, understand. Your God is different from somebody's God. That's a mistake. There is no gods are not different. There is only one truth all over. Call it God, there is nothing else other than him or her. It doesn't make any difference. But when you talk about this self-awareness, form is beautiful, formless is beautiful, everything is accepted. Tasmat Om iti dudaritya yajnadana tapakriya pravartante. So they engage themselves in action, Om iti udaritya, having told Om, they do it. But that Om, when you do that, you must remember, so that every action becomes beautiful. Like anger comes up, hatred comes up, jealousy comes up, a rude statement is coming up. Go back to the source, go back to the source. The trouble is at that time it becomes difficult to remember. When you are doing it, it becomes difficult. That is why, just like you are practicing your driving, long before you go to the highway, you practice your driving. That's why Gurukula Vasa, living with the teacher, living in an ashram, withdrawn place, mountains, wherever you are withdrawn, that time you see it again and again. Now you have time to look at yourself. You are not looking at it. When you go to the highway, traffic of humanity, you will have absolutely no time. Understand? That time you are looking for something, you will not get it. So sit down alone, all by yourself, and throughout the day, look at it. Is there any unconscious activity, unconscious speech, unconscious some type of a thought which you could not catch? That the thoughts are passing doesn't make any difference. But the moment you are going to act on a thought, you must be conscious. That is why before you act, your body moves, your tongue moves. Before it becomes a speech, you must very clearly remember. That is why meaningless talkativeness is a waste of time. And if you are like that, you shall see more and more you become conscious, your restlessness of the body will automatically go away. And also the restlessness of your speech will automatically go away because you are very conscious. You are enjoying yourself. You observe yourself, you shall see how much you have changed from the day one to today. There may be little more things to do, it doesn't matter. But what brings you hope is, 2 months back I was such a stupid. 3 months back I was like this, just like in a medical condition. Suppose previously you were just bedridden, could not walk. After 1 month you started walking, improving. Little faster walking, very much improved. Running and still not tired, come to normal. Are you getting that? Exactly the same way also. Previously I was very restless. Now it has slowed down. I was always talking meaningless nonsense, speech was like meaningless speeches, all the time chattering on chatterbox. Now that has gone down. You become a wonderful person because you see the possibilities until you are totally steady in yourself. So in case you are steady with yourself, all these sarira, vak, manatapas will be natural. Every action, and you will be giving it with the right attitude. There is no question of trying to exploit somebody or cheat somebody. Naturally happen. Cannot? At least remember Om. Okay. Or Tat Purusha Ishvara. Formless can be, or you can say, so formless is yourself. Om, aham, yourself. Remember, do it. And tat purusha, taditi avisandhaya, phalam, yajna, tapa, kriya, dana, kriya, vividha, kriyanti, moksha, kangshivi. Suppose you say, I cannot do that, so very restless, because I am not yet free. I can't, Om doesn't mean anything to you. Okay. Moksha kankshi. If you want to be free, moksha kankshi. One who is desirous, akanksha, who has the ichha for moksha se akanksha, that if you have that, moksharthi, if you are moksha kankshi means moksharthi, if you are desirous of liberation, what you should do? Taditi abhisandhaya. You give the result of this action. Phalam, yajna, tapa, kriya, dana, kriyascha vividha. Phalam abhisandhaya. That right. You phalam what? Na abhisandhaya. Without taditi, understand? Taditi anabhisandhaya. Abhisandhaya means desiring. Anabhisandhaya means not desiring. You, what? Not desiring what? Phalam. Without expecting any result, you do your yajna, tapa, dana, kriya. When you say yajna, tapa, dana means please don't think. So, the ancient time people are only doing yajna, tapas, dana. You understand? An action is a yajna when you do with the attitude of sacrifice of the result. Any action, any kriya, whether it is yajna or tapas, dana, anything. What is that anything? Walking, running, seeing, tasting, touching, lifting, like all that activities you saw in the 5th chapter. Pashyan, Shunvan, Spushan, Jigran, Asnan, Gachan, Swapan, Shosan, eating, moving, breathing, doing everything. Unmishan, numishan api, your eyes, eyelids, closing and opening, meaning every action. Naham kinchit karomi, indriyani indriyarthaisu vartante, sense organs do their job, I am not the doer. And whatever sensation comes out of it, I don't depend on the result of that sensation or result of that action for my happiness. Therefore, I give up the result of the action. I act for action's sake. If you do with this attitude, your mind shall be ready for receiving the truth. Like, you have a weakness, let us say, you have a weakness for a laddu. Let's think an example. You have weakness for a sweet. Don't condemn yourself. All that you have seen, but he's now mixing it, sort of concluding. You have the laddu sweetness for the weakness for the sweet. Don't kill yourself. How? Don't. Before you know you have developed it, why kill yourself? Did you consciously develop it? Think. Ask yourself a question. Whenever you have any weakness, did you consciously develop it? Think. Does anybody consciously develop a habit for smoking and drinking? Consciously. If you are conscious, you will never make a habit. Consciousness and habitual behavior do not go together. It just do not go together. You cannot create a habit if you are conscious. I'll tell my own example. This email and this thing, suddenly I discovered, because it's required now, because so many trips have to be fixed, there are so many transactions to be made, so I was looking at it. Then I discovered one day that I am 10 o'clock before going to night, I am looking at it. Early morning I get up, come back from my walk and everything, I am looking at it. I said, where on the earth, what is going on? Why was so nice, I was going up and sitting down so nicely. Now what is this happening? If I don't see this morning 1 hour, you mean anything will collapse? No. No time now. Cut it. Why? Or else it become habit. So much so, if I don't see, the mind will say, go to the email. No. If you say, go to the email, I go to bed. No, I am not telling you a joke. Are you listening to your mind? If you are listening to your mind, you will not be a slave. Because unless it prompts me to the suggestion comes, only if you succumb, then only becomes a habit. If you don't succumb, are you getting that point, please? The thought comes, and you can prevent the thought from coming, but you can prevent yourself from acting on that thought. Are you getting that? You cannot prevent thoughts from coming. Last night, did anybody bring that rain? Did you put some lightning in the sky? I couldn't sleep. I slept last night 12:45. Because when the rain 10 o'clock started, I went up. It is so beautiful. Like, star, lightning, cloud. And it was coming from that side. Around 11:30, blasted. That time I ran down. But I opened all the doors and windows. I want to see that rain. Did anybody bring that rain? No. But when the rain comes, you put up the umbrella. When the rain comes, you didn't bring the rain, but you know how to deal with the rain. You don't bring your thought, but you must learn how to deal with your thought. So before the thought becomes an action, what action? Only yajna, dana, tapa. Are you getting that? It can be walking, seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, talking, doing everything. So unconsciously you have developed the habit. Now consciously, when that habit is pushing you, phala anabhisandaya, without expecting the happiness from that, tell yourself, man, I'm so stupid. Why I've been doing this? All right, do it. And where do I go after I do what I wanted to do? Going to myself. All right, conscious. Moksha kangshivi. You are desirous of freedom, not only from the absolute sense, but also desirous of freedom from your so-called obsessions and habits. Are you getting that? Both ways. Because both need conscious action. If you want to get out of a habit, consciously act. If you want to be yourself, be conscious of yourself. Both way the principle works. Any conscious. Because there is no conscious and then obsessive habit. You cannot be conscious and obsessive. Are you getting that point, please? You cannot be. It's like trying to be conscious and sleeping. Try. That's the best thing. Try to be conscious and sleep. Come on. Why are you smiling? Come on, consciously sleep. You cannot be consciously asleep. To be asleep means unconscious. You are not consciously sleeping, you are consciously closing your eyes. That is why yoga nidra. But that's not a nidra. Yoga nidra is not a sleep. Yoga nidra is samadhi. You're being with yourself. Are you getting that? So every person acts unconsciously in the world. Top to bottom. Most people. That is why problem. If you are conscious, moksha gangi dana kriya, kriyante, it will be nice. Okay, Om. You can say Om or Tat Ishvara. Or say Sadbhave Sadhubhave Che. Om or Tat Sabda Prayog. Now Sat Sabda. Sadbhave Sadhubhave Che. Sadit Yetat Prayujyate Prasaste Karmani Tatha Sat Sabda Partha Ujyate. You sadvrutti, sadbhave, sadhubhave. Asadvrutti. Right. What is sadbhava? We use a beautiful example. Asataha sadbhava, meaning abidyamanasya putrasya janmani. The son was not there, the baby was not there. It is asat. Sadbhava means what? the baby was born. Now at this moment, good qualities are not there with you. Make the good qualities born. Be conscious. Are you getting that point, please? If you are not a person, at this moment you don't have the compassion, kindness or being conscious, you make it sadbhava. Start with something, sadbhava. You make a beginning, plant a seed. If you do not plant a seed, the tree will not grow. You want to get out of a habit? Put a seed, planning that I shall get rid of the habit. Are you getting that point, please? Are you sincerely wishing to get out? I will never be angry again. Have you sincerely planted that seed in yourself? Or just frivolous? Most people are frivolous. That is why 1st January, pratigya, from 1st January. Today onwards, no smoking. From 1st January, no drinking. This Shivaratri, I give up my hair. After that, I will be cutting it every month. This Shivaratri onwards, no overeating or no sweets. First 10 days, of course, perfect. After that, why? You did not plant the seed. It's like telling, now that the rain has come, we will plant the seed. But you never plant the seed. What trees you will see? Huh? Yesterday, it rained, no. So today we shall say, now that the rain has come, we shall plant all the seeds. For next 10 days you are talking, let us plant the seeds. After 1 month, you will see the trees, right? You talked about planting the seed. Did you plant a seed? Did you dig a hole and put the seed? No. Then don't worry. I think, Swamiji, from today onwards, I will never do this. Very good. You told. Did you plant a seed inside? Sadbhave, sadhubhave cha. Whatever you say, sadbhava, what happens? Asatah sadbhave, atha avidyamanasa putrasya janmani. That the son was not there, now it is come. Sadbhave, sadhubhave. In the same way, asadho sadbhutatya sadhubhava tasmin sadhu. Same thing. If you are a person, asadvrutti, asadhu, not very becoming lifestyle, doing some nonsense, now put one seed inside yourself. Saditi etat prayujyate. You put. When other people say, that's not a seed, that is like a goes to your ear and goes back. It's a beautiful example, understand. Raja, Shankara says, no, Vivek Chudamani, Raja miti sabdan no Raja bhavitum arrati. Akrutva sastru sammaharam. Akrutva drushya vilayam. Rajaham is sabdan no Raja bhavitum arrati. Without killing destroying the enemy, without removing all the obstacles, just by telling, I am the king, you are not going to king. Same way. Without learning to deal with all your thoughts and perceptions and everything, just by telling, I am Brahman, nothing will happen. Plant. Sadbhave, prasaste karmani tatha satsabda prarthavichyade. Same thing, prasaste karmani, vivado, other activities, whatever about great activities of life, in everywhere you start with the sat, meaning you want to do something, start planting the thought within and then do it. You can give that meaning. Sat, call it sat, or you can say very common meaning shall be sat, the absolute consciousness which ever existing. Remember that. Remember Om, remember Tat, remember Sat. Tat, Ishvara. Om, all pervasive everything. Sat, the existence, that is myself and everything else. Either of the way you can do that. Okay, having told it, then go to the last two verses. Yajñe tapasi dane ce sthiti saditi uchyate karma chaiva tadarthiyam sadityeva vidiyate asraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam krutam chayate asadityuchate partha nacha tatpretya no ihe yajñe tapasi dane ce sthiti saditi uchocyate karma chaiva tadarthiyam sadityeva vidiyate asraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam krutam chayate asadityuchyate partha nacha tatpretya no ihe. Now you see, yajñe, tapasi, dane cha, sthiti, saditi cha uchyate. These are the satkarma. These are all satkarma. Karma chaiva tadarthyam saditi eva vidiyate. What is this satkarma? If you start with this attitude, like I told you, the planting the seed of liberation, planting the seed of change, so that you go through that change where it marks the beginning of being with yourself. Because until now it was asat, being nice, kind, you never made a beginning. Now you are genuinely making a beginning with yourself. Understand? It's very, very important. You marking a beginning. That is why these meditations, Aham Brahmasmi, suppose Aham Brahmasmi, I am the Absolute, I am the Absolute. You continuously recognize, remember yourself. You plant that. Previously I had an idea, Dehoham, Manoham, Indriyoham, I am the body, I am the mind, I am the thought. Now he says, Aham Brahmasmi, I am the Absolute. The Aham is now shifting from the body, mind, senses to yourself. Plant that. Plant that. With that if you do, then what will happen? Listen carefully. The beauty is, if you do that, suddenly every ordinary action becomes also yajna, dana, tapas. That is the beauty. With your absence of attitude, the so-called holy action is useless. With your right attitude, so the ordinary action becomes worship. Every action becomes worship. You remember that beautiful verse Shankara says, no? Atma tvam girijamati sahachara prana sariram gruham pujate vishayo vavokarachana nidra samadhi stitihi sanchara padayo pradakshina vidhi stotrani sarvagirah yadyat karma karomi tattadakhilam shambho tavaradhanam. Hey Shambho, yadyat karma karomi, whatever little action passes through me, whatever I initiate, whatever I do, Hey Shambho tavaradhanam, every action is your worship. What is that? Why is it so? Because Atma Tvam, you are myself. Girijamati, the Parvati mother is the mind. So you have now in yourself the consciousness, the Shiva. Parvati mother is the inseparable concert, is your mind. Sahachara prana sariram gruham, this body is your abode, O Lord, in which you and the mother both stay. Sahachara prana. Prana, pranic functions are your attendants. Sanchara padayo pradakshina vidhi. Wherever the body goes, that is your circumambulation. Stotrani sarvagiraha. Whatever words are spoken is your prayer. Oh Lord, how much can I say? Yadyat karma karomi. What all actions pass through this body? Avaradhana. It is your worship. That is the attitude. A person who doesn't know this, even if he does the puja, you giving charity, laddu out to everybody, that's all mere action. If the so-called good action becomes mere ordinary actions, because there can be huge fight. Somebody, you expecting a recognition, gratitude, commendation, and somebody doesn't give it, finished. You give laddu to everybody, then you wait for the gratitude in their eyes. Why are you giving? Can you give it? Yadyat karma karomi tattadakilam sambhu. Whatever actions pass through this body, O Lord, yours. Then, karma chaiva tadarthiyam saditi avidiyate. So when you remember that sat, you plant that seed of attitude in yourself, that God is here, truth is here, this is me, then every action becomes beautiful. Because suppose you sit down with yourself, you plant that seed, Aham Brahmasmi, I am the Absolute. Satchidanandoham, okay. Chidanandarupa Shivoham, Shivoham. Just think of it. Now, a thought comes. Go for a walk. Now, if I say, Aham Brahmasmi, I am all pervasive, now who is going to go for a walk? Take the coffee. Who? Laddu also. Who? Talk to that person. Who? Are you getting that point? Can you watch it? Having seen it, yes, you can go for a walk, go for everything. But do not lose sight of yourself. If you lose sight of yourself, your good action becomes a bondage. Understand? Are you getting that? Unconscious action, if you are unconscious, even your so-called noble action becomes bondage. If you are conscious, even the ordinary becomes extraordinary. Ordinary action becomes extraordinary. You are planting, digging up a hole and planting a seed. Who is doing it? Wise one. The whole universe is busy. Understand? But not knowing that, you are organizing a huge yajna, huge ritual, huge public charity, huge everything. Who is going? Mr. Solan Head. I am the one giving so many things, so many people. See, how do you think of these things? Oh, I see. 10,000 people are sitting down there and I organize for their puja and ritual. Oh, I see. Then what will happen? All these things will go into your head. It will kill you further. It will kill you further. Understand? It is just like unconsciously become an idea. Aham Brahmasmi, I am the Brahman Absolute. What is right and wrong? I can't do anything. Kill yourself. You are dead. Unconsciously it goes into your system. Please understand. Therefore, plant that idea. Saditi avidhiyate. Then concludes, asraddhaya hutam, dattam, tapastaptam, krutam chayad, asaditi uchchide partha, nachatat pritya no iha. This, whatever you, Arjuna, whatever you are doing, in case you do something, asraddhaya hutam, no shraddha, you are not a conscious person. Yeah, shraddha means that you are an unconscious person. Whatever you hutam, you sacrifice in the fire, dattam, you give to somebody, tapastaptam, your behavior, physical, your speech, or your mind, whatever krutam, whatever action you do, asadityuchte partha, it has no meaning. Are you getting that? Now, he does not swear in the name of God. Now it is only in the name of the truth, of the self. Are you getting that point, please? It's not that God will get angry. No. Shraddha, please understand, Shraddha, when you say, if you go unto yourself, you can go to God. If you go to the God, the macrocosm, you can come back to yourself. That is how it should happen. So don't try to wink at a God. Just don't confine God to this form and you say, He will be angry. Don't think like that. You mean to say God is in that form only? Everything is divine. Everything is divine. You cannot keep the Shiva statue in your room nice, clean, and the around dirty. Why? Because that is divine. These are all ordinary. No. He is everything. He is everything. She is everything. Call it mother worship, call it Ishvara, call it anything. Is everything. You can't say that only when I do the puja, I am in holy activity, but then my dressing is useless, my eating is useless, my talking to people is useless, I can do whatever I like. No, that is not. Every moment, in every action there should be the touch of divinity. In every action there should be touch of the Absolute. You can say, see, you know, Swami, when Vedic, I can chant Vedas like anything. But when I open my mouth the rest of the time, everybody is drowned with disaster. Anger, hatred, jealousy. You stop chanting. But you should continue chanting. Why? Because at least that half an hour everybody is safe. Understand? That is why religion is a big help. Because even when you are cheating yourself and cheating others, but at least during that time others are safe. You can't use that mouth for chanting, singing, dancing and all these things. And he said, Upanishad, 1 month, 1 hour, 2 hours you talk, then rest 22 hours, hurting everybody, manipulating everybody, destroying everybody, punishing everybody. Now what type of mouth is that? Think for yourself. Think for yourself. That is why if you do so, asaditi uchyade partha. Hey partha, asaditi uchyade. This type of nona asat. Falsehood. Na pratyaya, na iya. It has no result either here or in the hereafter. It's useless. It doesn't mean anything. What it means is you get into trouble here. Hereafter, of course, there will be. Forget that. Here itself is a problem. Be angry, be restless, be jealous and see how beautiful your life is. Then you shall go on complaining. Why nobody likes me? True. Are you getting that? See that point. You go on getting angry, restless, jealous, short-tempered. And then you go on complaining. Nobody likes me. True. You only like yourself. What to do? Understand? Please, I tell you, you must see these things very clearly. Say, Shraddhaya hutam dattam tapastaptam. Shraddhaya. With Shraddha. Being with yourself. Being with Ishvara. Om Tat Sat iti. Call it Om, call it Tat, call it Sat, call it Ishvara, call it Brahma, call it Self. It doesn't matter. Always abiding in yourself. Do the. If you do not, even the so-called good action becomes also useless. It has no good result. Sometimes it will provide you wrong results of life. Okay? Therefore, be yourself. Nice to be a good man even without believing in God or in the truth. But certain times, most of the times you shall fail because you have common sense wisdom, but you don't know the root of that goodness. That is why you will fail. So when you go into the root, you shall always be nice. Not only sattva, but rajas, tamas. Even certain times, if there is rajasic attitude, tamasic attitude, that also is okay. Why? Because you are happy, you are conscious with yourself. Please understand that principle very, very nicely. Just like a car. If you say, very steady driving is sattvic, listen, very steady driving is sattvic. going 200 kilometers speed, Rajasic fellow. Another fellow is parking the car and, this fellow is very tamasic. Hey, driving means all the three. Sometimes you have to go steady in one speed, sometimes emergency 200 kilometers, sometimes why unnecessarily speeding, just lie down. Which one is better? All the three have their place. Same thing, once you are aware of yourself, sattva, rajas, tamas. What attitude with all that you saw? Everything is good because they are required. When you are not aware of yourself, if you think sattva is better than tamas, you will be guilty. That I cannot be sattva. Or I am such a tamasic, you self-condemnation. Because you are with one of the gunas. You are not with the nirguna. You saw that? Gunatra Vibhaga Yoga, na? 14th chapter, you know? Gunebhyascha param vetti matsanstham adhigacchati. Guna guneshu vartante iti matvana sajjate. Hey Arjuna, one who knows gunebhyascha param, that is beyond the three gunas. Such a person, gunatita savichyate. He is known as gunatita and he doesn't get affected by anything while using the guna. So, see, first be yourself. Then you will not get affected. Don't start with, I am not affected, therefore I do all the that is where you put you put the cart before the horse. First the horse, then the cart should be there ready, no? Put behind. So same thing also. One who is aware of himself doesn't get affected by three gunas. So every action becomes beautiful. Okay? Om Tat Sat. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Sambade Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga Nama Saptadashodhyaya hai. Now, do Ashtadhyaya. I think we can start in the afternoon, okay? I'll start afresh and very nice, please read. Arjuna Uvacha Sannyasasya Mahavaho Tattvamichhami Veditum Tyagasya cha Rishikesha Pruthakeshi Nishudana Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sannyasam Kavayo Viduhu Sarva Karma Phalatyagam Prahustyagam Vichakshana. Shankara commentaries Sarvasya eva Gita Shastrasya Artha Asmin Adhyaye Upasamrutya Sarvaja Vedartha Bhaktavyeti Evam Artha Ayam Adhyaya Arabhate. This Ayam Adhyaya Arabhate. This chapter begins for what? Sarvasya eva Gita Shastrasya Artha Asmin Adhyaye Sarva Upasamrutya. In order to conclude all the ideas given so far in the Bhagavad Gita, one chapter is begin now, it will conclude all the ideas. So, references are given. In fact, if you have followed everything as it is, just like that, you will pass through it, just recapitulation, what it is. We shall see what is sannyas, what is yoga, what is knowledge and all these things. In the evening classes we shall see. Okay? Please remember the most important thing now, as I told you. Planting a seed. Take that. You talk about paddy, vegetables in the field, nothing will happen until you plant a seed. Same way. Talking about changes, talking about no anger, no hatred, no jealousy, always happy. Plant a seed. That is why teaching, Shabda, these words planted in your head. And then see the meaning of it. When you see the meaning of it, then in your garden of mind, everything is beautiful. But if it is volatile words, understand, it's just volatile words. Words are floating around. Sometimes words are remembered, sometimes words are not remembered. Are you getting that? Sometimes words are remembered, sometimes words are not remembered. But if it is yourself the truth, you cannot escape it. So by chance you are incapable of doing something that you wish to do, you are not gone into your depth. Understand? So what is the solution? Be yourself. Don't blame thoughts, don't blame the world, don't blame the action. Understand? They told you never brought the rain last night. When the rain comes, you know how to enjoy it, how to protect it. Protect yourself from that. How the thoughts come, what thoughts will come, you will never know. What situations will arise, will you ever know? Evening we shall see more of it. I'll talk about certain contemporary situations, what is happening now. Then we will see. Whether it is politics, religion, everywhere. Why the mess comes up in life. Okay? Thank you. I have it. And forget about the mess in the countries and continents, the social, religious, political field. Think about your life. Is your life is a chaos or full of harmony, cosmos? Understand? It's very, very important. This morning, I was talking to somebody. They had a problem in life. Some problem has come up. Then the person is telling, phoned up, Swamiji, see now how everybody is very happy. I'm going through a bad time. Everybody is happy. Listen, I said, do you know why you feel like that? What a statement came up, Ishvara. I said, do you know why you feel like that? Because when you are having a good time, you always imagined that they are jealous. So when you are having a bad time, now you are imagining they are happy. They may not even know what you are going through. Are you getting that point? How your own mind kills you. When you are suppose having a nice time, what is it? Now my brother is very jealous. My father, my brother, my people, other swamis, or other IAS officers, or other fellows. Very good. So when you go down the drain, something happens, then we say, now everybody is very happy, see. They are not happy or unhappy. It's your projections. Yet nobody even knows what you are going through or what you are not going through. Nobody knows. Please appreciate. This is the imagination. Imagination kills you. Your own imagination completely kills you. The man, yesterday, you know that cricket people, billions of dollars lost in that involved. So when they have won it, and this IPL is a big success, so whole world is looking at it, oh, they must be walking like kings. Then what will be thinking? Now we have done it, the whole world will look at us. Now the whole thing is under investigation. Literally hundreds of IT income tax officials raiding all groups, all companies, simultaneous raid all over India today. Yesterday it has happened. Now what is they thinking? Now everybody will be very, very happy. People have no time. When ordinary man is struggling with his life, he doesn't care whether you are flying your private jet or you are walking on the road. You imagine. Please understand. Can you be little practical in life? Vedanta means practical. There is nothing called practical Vedanta. If you imagine, I have done something, so everybody will be jealous, you cannot escape that imaginary nonsense. Now everybody will be very happy. Therefore, don't be too happy because of certain things that happens to you for yourself. Be the happiness. Something happened, God's prasada buddhi. Doesn't happen. Ishvara. Move on. Okay? Keep it in mind. See it for yourself. Just let not the class over, ideas over. No. Plan. Close your eyes.